Hello, Google adventurers. This is your level 2 homework review for the MyMaps activity that was outlined in Google Classroom. Hopefully you took a chance and a stab at this on your own, but if you didn't and you ran into some trouble and you're using this as a step-by-step tutorial, please feel free to do so. Definitely, everybody should be producing pretty much the same map, and we're going to go through all of your different layers in just a moment. So first of all, we have our different steps one by one here, okay? You're going to be taking a road trip to 3 national parks, and you're going to be looking for some additional things to visit, points of interest, as well as some restaurants. So let's start out with this. We're going to, of course, go to mymaps.google.com, and we click on Create a New Map. That, of course, is going to enter up the old United States. Of course, you could do these all around the world and show points of interest. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to title it exactly what it's titled in the directions, okay? So we definitely want to make sure that we continue to do that. Copy paste titles to things from the directions directly into our activities when we are taking the certification exam. That's just a good rule of thumb. We also have our first layer. We are going to change the name of this layer to national parks. So let's add all 3 of our layers now. So we'll do national parks, okay? And we will add another layer. And of course, we are going to call that, I believe it was local restaurant, okay? And lastly, we are going to have other sites of interest nearby. Okay, that will be our 3rd layer. There are so many things that you can do with MyMaps from a historical perspective, from a literary perspective. There's many planning a road trip in a math class. There's really some cool things that you can do with this. There's ways to import data. There's ways to draw, do driving directions, all sorts of stuff like that. But we're just going to focus on the basics, that these are the different layers. Let's say that these are the places that we are going to go. The easiest way, of course, is to put these things in. So we're going to start out with the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Okay. When we click on that, we are asked to, we click add this to our map. It's going to add it to the map, but we also want to make sure that it's under the national parks layer, okay? So right now, it's actually not. So we want to go into style. Well, first of all, we need to go into style for something in just a moment. We're going to go to edit. Let's tap save. Where did that go? Well, let's move it this way. Let's do more icons, because we do have to turn this into, the icon we need is park, which looks like a tree, and we're going to change it to green. Okay? You'll notice as you start using these, they'll also come up as, and we'll use this green. Doesn't matter which one you use. You can use whichever one you would like. So we've just moved that there. It's under other sites of interest. What we want to do is we can click, and I believe we can drag. But it's not letting me do that because I have this circle put on here. So let me delete that and move it into this layer. I have to make sure the layer is highlighted. So again, we're going to do that one more time. Okay. And it's highlighted over here in blue. As you can see, we're going to add it to our map. We are going to use this icon. We're going to make it green. Okay. It's now added to the national parks layer, and it does say to add an image from Google Images. So we go to Google Image Search, and we just type in Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Okay. And then we click on the picture, and we hit select, click save, and now that is part of our layer. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video for just a second. I'm going to add the other national parks in here the same way I just did this one, and you'll see what the national parks layer is going to look like in just a moment. Okay, so now we have layer number 1 all complete, okay? And we are going to move into layer number 2. Layer number one, as you can see, I have my 3 green trees. You'll notice that when I click on it, it's going to bring up the picture that I've put in. You could even add a description. There's more that you can add into them. Oh, I realize that this box is in the way. So let's click on this one over here. So you see that this is the picture that I added. It gives us some additional information. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do. You can add a description. You could put in additional stuff in there. You don't have to for this particular activity. So now we're going to look for local restaurants around these places. So the simplest way to do that, as it says in the directions, is you can go to Google, which I already did, and you can put in restaurants here, and we'll do Yosemite because I did search for this before, and we have one here called the Mountain Room. Okay, it does say it's temporarily closed, maybe for COVID reasons, but we're going to put that one in anyway. So we're going to put in the Mountain Room, okay, which is right here in Yosemite Valley. You'll notice that right now I don't have the local restaurant layer clicked on. So I'm just going to very quickly, we're going to add this to here. I'm going to click off of this and go to local restaurant, the Mountain Room and Lodge. I'm going to click add to map. You'll see it's going to add it over here. The directions tell me that I should be looking for the restaurant crossed fork and knife and change the color to orange. Okay, so let me go back to my map and we're going to go to our icons and we're going to put in restaurant. Okay, and then we're going to change it to orange, which this one might work. Okay. And you'll see that I've now entered it in. Nothing additional to do there, no pictures, no menus, but you could do that. If you were making a map that you wanted to show your students, you could definitely add some additional information in there, okay? So I'm gonna add our 2 other restaurants that we need close to Gateway Arch National Park and Yosemite National Park, and then we will come back and do other sites of interest. So that'll be coming up real shortly. Okay, now you will notice something interesting here with layer 1, national parks, and layer 2, the local restaurant. You're going to see that the icons are overlapping. That's because geographically, these places are very close to one another. And we did that on purpose because I wanted you to be able to see something. When you uncheck this box, you're going to notice that things start to change. And you can see, if you only wanted to see or hide the national parks, this can also be done by whoever is navigating your map once you share it, which we'll be doing at the very end. So our last location are other sites of interest nearby. So we put sites or points of interest near, let's say, Gatlinburg. Okay, and a whole list of places comes up. There's a Ripley's Aquarium, Gatlinburg Skylift Park, and later down here is this place, Anakeesta, which is a large mountaintop greenhouse and garden that you can walk around on. So I'm going to put that one in. We're going to put in Anakeesta. Okay, so we're going to say Anakeesta. I believe it's Anakeesta Ridge, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me just put in Anakeesta Park. That's it. There we go. Okay, the large family-friendly adventure park, which is right here, called Anakeesta. So I'm going to add this now. I want to make sure that this layer is chosen because that's where it's going to add Anakeesta. I want to go here. I'm going to go add to map. Okay, we are looking for more icons. We're going to put in point of interest, excuse me. Okay, and this 3 dots in the circle comes up, and I believe this needs to be yellow. So let's go and make this one yellow. That looks, that's a little green. That one looks good to me. So now we have Anakeesta here under other sites of interest nearby. Okay. So let's add the other 2. I've already searched them out. Let's do this in real time. We have the City Museum in St. Louis, Missouri. So we're going to choose that one. We will add this to our map. You're also going to notice that some of the most recently used icons start to pop up for ease of use. Okay, so now we have city use, city museum, and our last one, which is Glacier Point. Again, I Googled these beforehand. Glacier Point Road. It's a large geographic structure that one can go visit. And there we go. So now we have our entire map is put together. We have our 3 layers. As I zoom out and as my computer kind of catches up, you're going to see that these 3 layers are relatively close to one another. But as I keep going out, the icons get closer and closer together geographically. So again, you can click on or click off any of these different layers to show your map reader any of these different places. So if we were to remove other sites of interest and remove the local restaurant, we would just have the national parks. Of course, if we remove those, we would have nothing on our map. You also can add additional layers like like all Google products, it automatically saves. And the last thing that you have to do is you have to share your map with us so we can check it and make sure that you've completed this properly. Okay, so you're going to click on share, which is then going to give you a link. Just in the googly way, it's going to allow you to add people to collaborate with this map. It's going to ask you, do you want this to be viewable or not? So we want to change this to Woodbridge Township School District, and we want to make sure that anyone in this group can view. This would be the link that you would then copy and submit as your homework for this particular assignment. So this is a really cool new feature in Google that is something that could be used through all subject areas and through up and down primary and secondary grades. So don't forget, if you have questions about this, you can reach out to any of the Level 2 Google trainers, and we look forward to seeing you in class next week.